good morning. It's quite early in the morning here, and I really felt like I needed to do a video. I have promised for a while now that I was going to do one, but you know how it is. Everyday life comes in, and you don't find time to sit down and do it. So now I'm doing one just improvised here, sitting on my couch. So, where are we? Where am I in my story? I'm now 2 years past surgery, um, feeling great, staying steady. I'm not really. I haven't gained any since my lowest. I have maybe gained like 2 kilos or something like that, but that's nothing in pounds. Um, I I eat bigger portions today. Definitely much bigger portions than I did at start, but I don't really see it as an issue because I'm not eating anything bad. So I will just have a bigger piece of meat or bigger things, but it doesn't seem to affect my body so far. Um, I still have my still turn to my nuts, my almonds, my natural things when I do crave something. What else have I done this last? Yes, I made my decision that I will never ever again get a gym membership because it's. Oh, I know it's not this is something that is good for everyone. It's good to go to the gym, but I think that in my case, to find the time, it just makes a very negative things because I get the card and then I don't find the time to go and I do find the time to go. I go once. I'm happy when I go to the gym, but then I can never keep up a steady rhythm to go continuously. So then it's just having a bad feeling bad about it. So I decided instead I was going to get weights. I have free weights at home so that I can work out my muscles there because we have to face it. I mean, why has fitness center become so huge and so used these last years? Is because people eat far too much crap. We eat so much more calories than we can burn, so therefore we have to run to the gym to burn all these calories we're eating. And and yes, we have to work muscles, and yes, it's good to keep a condition, but you could do free weights at home. You can go on walks, you can bike, you can play, you can work in the garden, you can do other things that keeps your condition up. I don't need to go to the gym to burn calories because I don't eat that many calories. Actually, I don't count my calories, but I know that I'm just eating healthy things. The things with most calories I would have is like if I have cashew nuts or things like that. They contain a lot of calories, but I don't believe that 1 calorie is 1 calorie. I don't believe that 1 calorie of cashew nut is the same as 1 calorie of candy. And that's why I don't like the system with counting calories, because many people, when they count calories, they go like, okay, I am allowed to have this and this many calories. Now I have only had that many calories. I can actually have some candy now because that would, I would stay within my calorie count, but I don't believe in that. However, so yes, I'm feeling great. Uh, I just feel like feels so natural. I never think about. I mean, I'm constantly confronted by candy and things because I have two younger children. I'm very observant of what they eat and what they get, but I cannot become fanatical with them. So they still have their Friday candy. So in the Friday, we'll go to the candy shop. My son actually prefers when I choose the candy for him because mama knows what he wants. So I have to go and pick, in these loose weight candy things. So I have to go and pick the candies, and it doesn't affect me at all. It's my brain has now accepted the fact that that's not anything that's for me. When I see it, or even if I smell it, or if we go and get ice cream or things like that, it's just, I have my, it's, yeah, my brain has accepted the situation. And then I will find other things that my brain now will get excited over. I mean, a Friday night will be like, we're going to have some tenderloins with béarnaise sauce. That's extra good for me. And that's something I can get excited over. But I feel that I gain so much more. Life is so much more than what I could put into my mouth. Just the fact of going to bed at night and feeling content with myself and happy and proven to myself that I could do this. So many, I hear constantly every time when I speak with somebody, people say to me, I have no willpower, I am not this, I am a weak person, why can I not be like everyone else? And I keep reminding them that think about your life. Isn't it so that you have willpower when it comes to all other aspects in life, and you can manage to do a great job at work, and you can manage to keep your family together, you can manage to do a lot of things. It's just the part with the sugar that you can't. And that's because it's not you, it's the addiction. But once you manage to get the addiction in a dormant state where you can get back in control of your life, you'll see that you can. All those things you didn't think you could, you actually can. Because it's not about having a willpower, and the willpower, you're testing your willpower as long as you're giving in to the addiction, and that you are in a constant debate with the addiction whether you should or should not have the cake. Yeah, then you are testing your willpower every day. It's not a question about willpower when you completely stop something, because then the brain accepts the fact that this is how it is, and there's no discussion. And if there's no discussion, then I don't need to have a willpower to resist a temptation, because it's not a question whether I should or shouldn't have it. This is just the way it is. This is my life. This is who I am. I'm Eleanor. I'm a sugar addict, and I choose not to eat sugar because it will never, ever satisfy me. It will never make me happy. And the contrary, it made me miserable. So there's so much more. And when we talk about people making addiction transfers, I really believe that there is addiction transfer, and we've seen it over and over again. A lot of people, some they start drinking, and some they start gambling, or some start shopping. Well, I have found my painting, and I've started painting, and I think it becomes an addiction for me. And but it's a good addiction because it's creative, and I make money out of it, and I really enjoy it. But sometimes I have to make myself stop, because sometimes it can just take over. My house can become a little bit more messy, or my kids, I'm not gonna, when I disappear in one of my paintings, I can be gone for hours, and that's what I have to work on now. It's to sometimes to say stop, family first, and then my painting afterwards. Because I can wake up. I mean, most of the mornings now I go up at like 5-6 a.m. in the morning, because I wake up with ideas of painting. This morning I woke up really early, and I had like 3 new ideas of things I want to paint, and there's just so much time in the day to be able to do all that. And so this is something that I have found, and that helps me as well, because once I paint, I disappear. So I don't think about eating or drinking or nothing. I have to actually remind myself at least to drink or just take some almonds, because they can go too many hours in between my eating. But the good thing now, as I eat bigger portions, I don't need to eat as many times a day. So I will have, breakfast, normal breakfast, and then I will have like, in between lunch and breakfast, I will have or an egg or some almonds or just a little chicken and nickets, and then I would have lunch, and then in the afternoon I will have something again before dinner at night. But I can go out and eat in restaurants and don't feel like I'm sitting and just nitpick at a little corner of the plate. I can I can eat with my family, or if I go to dinner with friends. I don't need. I mean, you wouldn't be able even to really notice a difference. I mean, of course, I am eating less than I did before, but yeah, in the beginning it was driving me mental that the way we had to eat. I mean, I remember we were on a trip with some friends, and the only thing the whole day was just about me finding food, and we would all go out and eat for lunch, and I would eat two bites and then I would be full, and then we would go leaving the restaurant, and just after 15 minutes, half an hour, I was already starting to looking what new kind of food could I found, and it was annoying. So now it feels much better. I have my body has found yeah, has found its way, and I'm never sick. I've never been sick. I can take anything, and I'm so, I mean, really grateful for that. That I can have meat or anything with no problems. Um, I I still have always my water bottle. Always have a water bottle with me, next to me. No, now it's not standing there next to me actually, and uh, so that's I always try to make sure to drink a lot. My problem is now I like to even drink at night, and which makes me run up to the loo several times a night. And my doctor tell I shouldn't drink anything after 6 o'clock, which I think is very hard because I'm thirsty. Uh, so that's another issue. I take all my vitamins still. I take a normal multivitamin, and then I take a magnesia pill every day, and that's because to avoid to get a hard stomach. The positive effect that I felt from it as well is normally I have restless legs. And since a while back now, I haven't had any issues with my restless legs because I take the magnesia. I think it goes together. I take an extra pill. I take two extra pills for my hair because that's the bad thing with the surgery. I lost so much of my hair. I used to have longer hair. Now I can only have this super, super short hair because it's so thin, and I mean, it keeps falling, and it's really thin. I mean, if you do this, I don't know if you can notice, but you can really see the skull on me. And even though I take all my vitamins, my extra vitamins for nails and hairs and everything, yeah, I hope. Somebody said, people said to me, "You'll see, it's going to turn after the 2 year mark. It's going to start turning," but I don't see anything yet. So we'll see. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to look like a boy for the rest of my life. But it's okay. My nails, I don't know if you can see, but they're quite terrible. I have something going on right now. I have no idea if it's related or not to, but you can see all my end here, all my cuticles, they're always swollen. They are like a little bump. It's like swollen at the end of the finger, and it makes it the cuticles become all weird, and my nails break, and it's bad as well, my fingernails. But what the heck? I can move around with no problem, so that's not an issue. Yes, and the fact that I can move around, as you say, it's so great. I can be doing gardening. Before, I wanted to do gardening, and I knew that if I would do half an hour gardening, I would be paying on the rest of the day. Now I can be spending hours in the garden with no issue. I can play with the kids. There's so many more things I can do And that's the scary thing. It's how, when you realize how we just can adapt to situations in life, how we can adapt that for years we walk around suffering, or for years you cannot, bend over, or for years you have a hard time being able to cut your toenails or cross your legs, but you just accept it. You just, live with it instead of doing something for it. You just, it just becomes a part of your life when we don't need to. We are not 80 years old. We're supposed to be able to do much more things that we could. And that is fantastic, the way. And I can see, because I have a husband who is overweight, and we talk about it sometimes, but it's his thing, and he doesn't want. I mean, he doesn't want us. He just keeps saying, "I know what to do. I know what to do." And you know what? I realized something. It's only him who can make a change if he wants to make a change. It doesn't matter what I say or what I do. I cannot do the change for him. So I love him just the way he is. And if he wants to make the change, he's going to do the change. But what makes me sad is when I see him, suffering. He struggles to cut his toenails. He struggles to just stand up from the couch. He struggles to, if we go for a walk, I'm just like, bouncing up the road, and he's like, I have a hard time breathing. And that makes me sad, because he would need to be like that. And and when we talk about addiction, he totally respects me for having this addiction. He keeps saying he doesn't have an addiction, and I keep thinking, I think he does. Because if he wouldn't have this addiction, how come he wouldn't stop it then? How come he wouldn't stop all the things he's eating to be able to lose that weight that he keeps saying that he wants to lose? But no. So there's so many people out there who are addicted, but they just don't want to admit it. And even though he knows about me, he knows about my group, he knows about everything I'm doing, it doesn't concern him. I guess he's just overweight by choice then. So whatever. So that's a little bit hard sometimes to see that, and deal with that. But however, my kids tell me every day how proud they are of me, and I can really now see and realize the fact that it really affected them to have a mother who was overweight. They didn't say anything. I mean, yes and no. They did say things. They said, I remember my daughter would, if somebody would say her daddy would, or if I would say I'm fat, she goes, oh no, 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 you're beautiful, mommy, you're not fat, you're just a little bit, a little bit big or whatever. But it's for the children, being fat is put with such a negative feeling, so they don't want to associate that with the parents they love. Well, when I was bigger, I used to say to my daughter, yes, my mommy is fat, but it's okay. I mean, we all come in different shape and sizes. It doesn't mean that I'm less of a person because I'm, fat. But now when I have lost the weight, my son often takes me in his arms and he goes, oh, you look so pretty now, mama. And I know that when they were smaller, they didn't care because they really loved me. But now they're coming in their teens, early teens. And for them, it's a bigger issue. And, and they keep telling me how pretty I look. And so it must have meant something for them to have a mother who was bigger. But the most important is, I have showed my children that whenever you set your mind to something, you can do it. Whenever you're committed, you will get a result. And I have showed them you can choose your own way. So you create your future, you create your destiny. So that's the most important lesson I have taught my children. It's the fact that you know, we create ourself, and no one else do it for us, and it's just by hard work and committing to something that you can make this change. So that's really good. That's a good thing. What? But what else can I tell? These 2 years, so many things have happened. Um I mean, the first year after surgery, I was really, really super, 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 super strict on anything. I didn't have anything, no slice of pizza. Today, I can have two, three slices of pizza once in a while, very rarely. I know it's not very good for me, but can I have it? I can have, some wine once in a while, but all these things are rare. But in the same time, I didn't have issues with pizza. If pizza would have been my weak point, I would not even go there. If I had any alcohol problems, or if I loved wine, I would probably not have that glass of wine. It's because I've never been a big wine eater, or pizza is never been. I mean, it's okay, but it's not this fantastic thing. So I would stay away from things that have been your really, really weak point. But for me, the fact that I made a very, very clear line from the start what I cannot and can have, and the things I cannot have has become so natural, and my brain has accepted it now so well. So it's never a discussion, it's never a question, it's never should I, should not have. And that is just in itself, it's so freeing. Because I remember, for example, if I will go to somebody's house and they will have on the table a big bowl of candy, the 50% of my attention would be on that bowl of candy. Whether I should, shouldn't I have, if I have, how many should I have, and then I will take one or two, and then I want to continue. But if I do continue, then it would make me look really bad because I cannot sit at somebody else's house and eat all their candy. But if I don't eat it, I really want it. You see what I mean? It would take 50% of, not even more, of my attention, that stupid bowl of candy or a cookie or whatever it was. And that's giving me, now I have 100% of myself to give to my friends in attention or whatever, because I will not have these things that preoccupate my mind. The addiction will not take my mind away from me, because that's how I felt. I felt like the addiction was controlling my brain, it was controlling my thoughts, it was controlling my actions, and it will tell me things and make me believe that I was felt like I was a split personality lunatic, and that is gone. In that, what feels so good, it's I am master of myself. No one else tells me what to do, no one else tells me how to feel or want. And so that's really good. Something else that I realize with us as being habit animals, we are really bad with habits. That one, it's really hard to break bad habits. It's hard to create new habits, and the only way of doing it is to stay, consistent and really working hard on it. And that we have to analyze everything we do. Whenever we want to implement a new habit, we have to really think about, is this realistic? Am I going to be able to keep up this good habit on a committed level, on a steady level, and do it? Because if you're not going to be able, I mean, if it's going like, many, when we started dieting, I'm going to go 5 days a week to the gym, but it's not realistic in our life, maybe if we have kids and family and work and everything, to go to the gym 5 days a week. So you'll do it only for a short while, and then you'll fall off, and then that habit will not be able to be created. So we have to be realistic of the good things we want to implement. Is it realistic? Is it possible for me to actually maintain this as a habit all the time? And with bad habits that we want to break, it's we have to be committed to stop it, and not be able, not, go back and forwards. We have to completely stay away from doing that thing. After a long while, it would become natural. Another thing I realize also, it's the bad things that we start, like, after surgery we see many people. The doctor said that you can have these, ice pops, or whatever you call it. It's like water ice cream that you can have after surgery. Some people never had them before surgery, and then they started with them after surgery, and now they're hooked. Now they can't stop having them. The same with the diet shakes. The not diet shakes, sorry, protein shakes. Some people never used to have protein shakes, and now they have a very hard time breaking them. And if you think about all the things you started doing after surgery, some things that you started doing after surgery are not necessarily things you want to continue, but it's very hard to break them because you created a habit. I know that I'm against all substitutes that are substituting for bad choices, like, candy, sugar-free candy, or sugar-free chocolate bars, or all those sweet things. I'm totally against, because they just keeps your sweet tooth going. They trigger your cravings. They keep on wanting you to have sweet things. But for me, drinking water, plain water after surgery, was nearly impossible. So I had to put some, taste, some flavors in the water. And still, at this point, 2 years after, it's very hard for me to drink plain water. And I do believe it's not because the water tastes so weird anymore. It's because I created a habit of having these flavors in the water. Before surgery, I would not have flavors in the water. I would just drink water as is. So that's a habit I created. So therefore, we have to be so vigilant right after surgery, is what we decide to do. Every choice we make can become a habit. Do we want this thing that we chose to do? Do we want this thing to become a habit? Like, if you start having a certain routine of things you do after surgery, is that something you would like to be able to continue doing every day for the rest of your life? Or is it something that you don't necessarily want to do? Then you shouldn't. Then you should stop with it. So that's the habits. We have to be really vigilant on everything we do, and self-analyzing. That's very important this time. I mean, just think about our emotions, because we have to be true to ourselves. We've been using our addiction as self-medication for many, many years. We've been using it to self-medicate when stressed, when sad, when happy, whenever emotions we had. We used food, sugar, or carbs to self-medicate. And now suddenly we cannot turn to those. So then what do we do? And that's what you have to figure out. I mean, or you can do it by just, yourself, to be very observant about yourself and your feelings and trying different things. Or if you can't, you have to seek help. You have to find someone who can help you to deal with those things. But I mean, you can look, if you go in the groups and you ask, you have a lot of people having different things. I mean, some would, if they have feeling stressy, I mean, some will go for a walk, some will, do different things to get over it. But, and when people get cravings, the same in the start, when you have cravings, when you start this journey, some people have all different techniques how to get over a craving. But the thing is, we have to remember The secret is just to resist the next craving, because a craving won't last for hours. A craving will last for a moment. If you manage to resist that moment, it will fade away, and then you won that battle. It's small battles that you win every day until they will disappear. I'm not saying that you will never have. I'm not saying I don't have cravings the way I had cravings for sugar anymore, but I still have days where I feel like I want something extra. I still have days where I can have a lot more. I want something, but now when I have those days, I just know what I can have. I mean, I will have some extra nuts one day, or I will have some. I'll make some carrots with some dip or some. I will have something that I'm allowed to have. I'm never going to go over the line and get something that's forbidden for me, because that's just going to release I don't know what. I mean, I don't want to open up Pandora's box. So I just stay within what I'm allowed to have, but I will have days when I eat more than others and days that I'm more hungry than others. So that's normal. And also we have to learn that being hungry is more natural than being full. For so many years, many of us have just been feeling full for too long. It's not normal state to feel full. It's hungry is a more normal state. And when you're hungry, you don't need to have your alert buttons all, start blinking in your head, because you're not going to die because you're just a little bit hungry. It's okay being hungry. Sometimes I can feel hungry when I paint, and I can just, yeah, accept that feeling. It's just a feeling, and it's not going to do any harm to me, and then I can wait for some. I don't need to immediately, when I feel that sensation of hunger, feel like, oh my god, I need to have something, because otherwise you don't. I mean, some people has problem with the sugar levels, and they feel like if they feel like they're hungry, they need to have something immediately. But that's when it's good to have some almonds next to you, or some natural things, or a carrot or whatever, that you can just grab that. You don't need to go and get the bad stuff. You don't need to go and get, what's not good for you. So, anyhow, um, we have this group, and I think it's a really good group on Facebook, that we help each other, that we can seek information. I would be able to do I would love to do much more for the group, but sadly, I need to get money in, so I need to do other things as well. Um, I had this idea that I wanted to create something, a membership thing, a group, so I could commit 100%, but it's not, haven't come there yet. The only thing I can say, I know that every time I ask, if somebody says, should we start, and you have so many people just going, yes, I need help, please, 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 I need help. But then when we start something, there's very few, in fact, getting involved. So it's up to you. I mean, we cannot do more than be there for you, support you, help you, but it's up to you to do the hard work. It's up to you to commit, to want the change for you. It's your life. I mean, you want it for you, and no one else. So this group, it could be even better. I wouldn't see more. I mean, I tried this. I was going to try this live meetings. We tried the live meetings, but I know that it's hard because we all on different time zones, and I had to put mine at 10 p.m. for me at night, so I could reach out to some people, but still there was a lot at that time, because then it was 4 p.m. Eastern time. There was a lot of people still working who couldn't commit, but it's very hard for me to find a time where it could suit everyone. But I mean, out of all the members we have in the group, less than a handful turn on and came into this group, and then I don't know if for some people it seemed confusing or what, because when we were in this group, we had people coming in and we would see them and then we'll just leave again from the group without, saying anything. You just come on and leave again. So I don't know if it was confusing, they didn't understand how this works or whatever. But, you know, um, so it's, I don't know. I mean, I would love to get ideas from you too as well, how we can improve the group. What would you like to see from the group? What more could we do to help you? It's the same with those units in the group. I mean, when you sign up for the group, there's a two questions you have to answer. One is, do you have an addiction? Yes. Second is, we have units in the group. Do you promise to read the units before you get active in the group? Yes, people answer, and then they get accepted. And still, every day, I have people starting to write in the posts and things in the group, but they haven't still not read the units. And I have to keep on saying to everybody, please read the units, please read the units, because in the units you will have a lot of answers to the question people ask when they join. And to be able to understand, what do we aim for? I mean, what are the goals, what we aim for? I'm not, I am not interested of replacing all my bad habits by chemicals and pretend I'm now healthy because I eat sugar-free puddings and sugar-free cakes and sugar-free ice cream. And no, it's not you haven't done any changes in your life by doing that. Yes, you just change the products, but you still haven't changed your habits. And it's our habits we have to change if we want to win over the addiction. So I cannot say it enough. Please read the units, and then you will know what we are all fighting for. And I'm working from home as I paint, and most of the time when I paint, I can talk. So when somebody wants and needs help, you can just write me a message on Messenger and reach out. If I have time, I'll talk to you. I have no problem doing that, because I'm so glad and so thankful that I finally found the way out, to find the key to the door that led me out of the addiction. Because for so many years, I thought I was going to have to accept this. This is what I was going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And it killed me thinking that there was no way out, because you can only, how to say, you can only count on your willpower for so long, but you cannot have a whole life just, going on willpower. It has to become, it has to become a natural way, a part of your life, and not struggling with the addiction. I mean, I cannot. I mean, some days, yes, some periods I will be stronger and I can avoid listening to the sound of the addiction. But many times, the addiction would win over me. I wouldn't have the willpower left. I wouldn't have the strength to say no. So don't believe that you need to struggle like that, because you don't. Once you get out of it, you will not longer struggle. I don't feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I'm free for the first time in years, that I'm free from the addiction. And I still know that I have many years to go still. And I know that many things can happen. But, I have some people who told me, you'll see, the cravings, they will come back. But I don't believe that I don't believe that tomorrow I will wake up and suddenly I would crave candy the way I craved candy before. I don't believe that. I believe that if I started by, slacking and starting letting me have once in a while a piece of cake, eventually it will lead me back into the addiction. But I know for a fact that if I stay on this road, if I stay committed the way I'm committed now, the risk of falling back is so small, so So but in the same time, I haven't been 10 years out yet, so it's hard to say. Um, but the thing is, the most important is to know that life isn't over. So many people who talk with, they're like, oh, but there's no life if you take away all the sweet stuff. There is no life. Yes, there is a life. Because at the end of the day, think about it, an avocado or broccoli, an ice cream or a cake is just different items. You choose some items in front of other items, but it's just items. And once you stop with those bad items, you would realize that you don't miss them so much necessarily. It was the addiction missing them. The addiction made you want them so bad, but it's not you who wanted them so bad. And you'll find other things that you really like. So you have to trust yourself. You have to trust the process. You have to want this. And you have to commit. That's the most important. You have to commit. And I say it, and I know it can seem very hard and mean when I say it, because some people keep saying, they keep saying, when people write, oh, I fell off track again, I feel so crappy, and the other one says, oh, but don't beat yourself up, we're just human, get back on the horse, and you have to, it's a new day today, and so on and so forth. And of course we are just human, of course that happens, but we have to be so careful, because that is a loophole to the addiction. That is a way of creating a really bad habit. I know people that start over every Monday, and every Friday they fall off track. And it has now become a habit, and that's really, really hard to break. And they keep themselves in the struggle, and they keep themselves in the battle with the addiction, because the addiction keeps making them fall off track. So the best way to win this is just to realize that yes, the struggle is going to be hard, but if you commit and you do it the right way, it's just hard for a while, and then the struggle ends. I mean, that hard, when you stop and you get a headache and you feel like crap, and the only thing you think about, it's the addiction. He's trying his best to, he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay. But if you ignore all those things and you manage to stay on track and eat well, because for the most important of all, we are not going to go on a boring diet where you're just going to sit home and eat salads, or sit an evening in front of the television with nothing. We don't want to leave voids for the addiction to come back. You have to just find new things to eat that's healthy, new way of eating, and thinking, always thinking protein first, vegetable, and the last some garnish by like a little bit of potato or a little bit of whatever. But the most important is you have to plan your day. You have to make sure you know what you're going to have from the morning to the evening before you go to bed. All day long has to be planned, so you don't leave any place for hesitation, any place for the addiction to come in. The other thing is also, if you're somebody who eat mostly when you're stressed, plan ahead, going, okay, when I'm going to be at work and when I'm going to be in that situation, when I'm going to be stressed, what can I have instead? What can I do instead? Or if you're somebody who's an emotional leader, what can I do when I get sad? You have to, all these things. I mean, I want you to really go in and analyze yourself. Where is my weak point? How can I correct them? What can I do in those situations? And what can I have instead? That's what you have to think about constantly at start. And after a while, it's just going to become very natural. When I open my cupboard now, I just open the cupboard and I see what I'm supposed to have. And I don't even reflect of all the other things in the cupboard that it's not for me, because that's it. It's not for me. I accepted it. It's like if you're a smoker and you're sitting in a meeting and somebody says it's a non-smoking room, you will not sit and reflect the whole meeting over, oh, I can't smoke, I can't. No, you accepted the fact that you can't smoke now, and you'll wait. So that's the way. Same thing here. Your brain will accept the situation once you commit to it. So it's about, committing and planning, and I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling, and it's 44 minutes. I don't know if you even gonna look at all this video because it's really, really long. But anyway, I am going for 3 weeks vacation to France. Yee-hoo! I'm gonna see my family. I'm gonna see my nephew's little baby girl that I haven't seen yet. So that's gonna be awesome. I'm going to be gone, but I'm still going to be present in the group, so you can always reach me. And I hope you have all a great time. I know that these times with Corona is absolutely bonkers. It's crazy. I know that everyone in the States, Australia, I mean, here in Denmark, we have been really, we had it very easy. We never needed to wear masks. We very few who got sick. But it's really bad over where you are. You are probably still in confinement, and you cannot go out and you cannot move. But remember, you can still, take milk bottles and lift them. That's like 1 kilo weight. You can do things around your house. You can still do movements, and then you can still make good choices. Nothing stops you from doing bad choices. And then try to pick up something that you would like. I mean, these times, if you're in confinement in your home, try to do things that you normally never have time to do, or start doing. Go on YouTube, learn to knit, learn to draw, learn to learn another language. Do something. Keep yourself busy with something so that you don't constantly think about eating. Okay, so that's, I say to you, during this time, try to do something new, try to learn something new, try to do something that you can feel good and be proud about. Okay, thank you for listening to me, and I try to do another video soon again if I have time. Bye bye.